Hello and welcome back. We are continuing as not the USA, but instead Korea, a tale of two Koreas, East and West. We will be, fighting in this battle again, going against the USA. Fortunately, this started last episode. Fortunately for us, we're going to be getting war reparations, hopefully, but Prussia also sided, which makes things quite a bit easier for us. Last episode, we did have a little bit of a come-up. We've started to get kind of the laws in place. We got the laissez-faire in here, which is going to help us to crank up a whole lot. And now all we really have to do is to build a ton. See, our main problem is we currently are not very industrialized. We have a ton of peasants, and we have 2 million gainfully employed, 10 million peasants, which means we're primed for a come-up. And once we do this, we're hoping to try and build really, really tall in Korea. Shout out to the wee-woos outside. And we are going to be hopefully doing this with a meta that is loud and alarming, as all alarms should be, because that way they know you're coming. Yeah, exactly. And so we are thinking that the Greener Grass Campaign's edict combined with the new winner-take-all in mass migration mechanic is going to be particularly powerful. I'm not sure exactly how mass migration is going to occur. Intermarket migration now ignores whether or not you accept, either on the basis of religion or heritage, because the Portuguese would not migrate here normally. We're able to form a cultural community. We're able to siphon off Portuguese. And so this is going to be important, I think, for our plan of building tall, because the vision here, in kind of a long-term thing, is at some point release Manchuria, conquer and incorporate Manchuria, and this entire stretch of land from Korea, starting in Shaanxi, which is going to have really a ton of resources in Beijing, and Manchuria is going to have a ton of resources. Look at these logging camps, look at me, now look at the logging camps, now look at me, and now look into your heart, and that's a lot of wood, and that'll be a lot of hardwood. A lot of resources here, a lot of resources here, and if we get all of this going, and then maybe get this in order to just not incorporate it, but get it in order to connect everything, this type of thing, we are thinking that we can push mass migration, and then push up the average, which is what gives us the new mass migration attraction modifier with these edicts. And then once we get a mass migration, the edict is no longer really useful because we're ineligible for mass migration, but we just shuffle around the edicts and in this way get this area to be hyper tall, talking millions and millions of pops, and we'll see how it shakes out. Another big part of this is, of course, the new kind of caps for mass migration. Standard of living is going to apply more, and there's more eligible for available employment, which is not something we are going to be having at this point in time, but is something that we will hopefully be having down the line, once we are able to crank this construction through. So this is the dream, and will hopefully be the big dice, and we'll handle USA now. Well, just as this war was starting to get a little scary because we got landed, wasn't paying close enough attention here, Mexico just offers this absolutely spectacular, the most fair war deal in the history of war deals. The only war goal that's getting enforced is ours for American war reparations. We'll accept this good deal, this spectacular deal, and now we're making money, and we get to continue to crank up in the construction. Now, as far as this goes, we overshot it by a little bit, but you end up spending less overall if you do this method where you go up to 10K, which is the flat amount that is required for this tier of tech, and then you come back and you finish them. We did this for both central archives and corporate charters, and so what we will be doing is we will be getting banking, and then we will be immediately after getting these two. So in just 14 to 23 weeks, we will be getting all three of these techs with a little plus week kind of consideration. And with these war reps that we accrued, we should be able to crank up construction, so we'll do that as well. The heuristic that we're going to be using is we are just generally going to be searching where is going to be the upkeep going to be the least, and we're going to add a couple there and then a little bit down. And then actually we are going to we actually have unemployment in Beijing and Shaanxi, so we're going to crank these up as well. We don't mind deficit spending a little bit. That'll be kind of a bit for us to go through. We're keeping up these promote social mobility edicts as well. The education access is really, really strong, considering this is 2/3 of our population here, and we are overall planning on constructing more here because there is unemployment, which is the big reason why we are using the road maintenance there as well. Here we go, baby. The 0 days left. The big nice. 0 days, and then 0 days, and then 0 days. We get them all. So, dazed and confused, I think that we will go for Pharmaceuticals, we kind of are struggling to find really good laws to pass. Actually, maybe we go dialectics, because I think the thing that's coming up is us building the EOS. After we get to around 150 construction, we're going to build the EOS on the universities, and so this will be quite strong. What do we need for the Kaiping Mining Company, actually? It looks like we cannot establish it. We have to research Steam Donkey. Okay. So, in that case, well, Steam Donkey's a tier 3 tech. We're not quite that close to Steam Donkey. So, I guess we will be slotting in a different company for now. I guess it'll be the other mining company. I think that this one will be a little bit better. We don't have enough of the gold mines yet for the gold mines to be good. I think we're just going to slot this in. We could slot in the wood company. There's a decent amount of wood in Korea. This is maybe fine. Actually, the wood company probably would have been a little bit better, but we already clicked the button, so big sad. The reason being, depeasanting is our primary consideration right now. So we will slot that in right now, and then as far as tech goes, I suppose we could, no, we're going to go dialectics. We could try and push specifically for Steam Donkey, but it's going to be another 5 years before we can deslot, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to push dialectics with the understanding that we're probably going to be cranking up the universities quite a bit from, you know, the current level we have now of just 1, which is not a lot, obviously, but we will get to go standardized filing system, which will be tremendously nice, which will also improve the income more than it looks like, because we'll be swapping over and getting a lot more tax from everyone. We will choose identification documents, and now we'll also be able to sort here. We know we are going to want to put in some more of these, and so we're just taking a look. We're going to get value from building these up to EOS a little bit more than the other stuff, so we're just going to add a few here with the idea that we're going to build these up to EOS. That is economies of scale in terms of just giving us the max amount of raw bureaucracy, and we do want a little bit 537 to be able to up the education institutions specifically. So Russia joins in on us when we are going for Oman, which is just as a protectorate, just to get a native interest in Persia. This is the main idea. They've really been broken down quite a bit, but unfortunately, normally what we just take from Russia is Alaska and war reparations. However, Alaska's bugged. Alaska's unlandable, so we actually can't enforce this, and so we went for a little bit of a release skipu on something that I think will be pretty nice, feather in our cap in terms of this run, and it'll look nice on the borders. I think that Russia's not responding very quickly to us kind of winning over here, but we will be pushing through here and be ready to release, hopefully, Kamchatka, which is going to be a nice little area north of Manchuria. You know, if we manage to get a nice looking border here with all this, I think it'll be pretty cool. We've already kind of set in on Oman, although I suppose we should just send these guys over to this front, so that it'll be harder for us to push us out if they ever do send over to this front, and we're in very good shape. We also will be getting war reparations off of Russia, which is going to be really valuable for cranking up the construction. It's going to be super, super nice. We're getting so much from Diplopacts at this moment, of which, you know, it includes the bankroll we got from Mexico last episode, and the war reparations we're getting from the USA. We will add to that the Russian war reparations, you know, with both of this, and it should be relatively easy for us to enforce. They're still not moving anybody, you know, to this front, so we'll just continue pushing until we encounter any resistance. So we might have bitten off more than we could chew. In terms of the UI, it's a little bit rough because it's not always readily apparent how much manpower you have, and we went for Ecuador knowing that Brazil was likely to join, but we didn't really take into consideration that a lot of our guys are not really on full manpower or particularly close, so we might have to research the tech that allows them to recruit up a little bit better, but I think we can outmaneuver them and at least enforce on Brazil, and we're going to focus on Brazil first here. We will slot in our thing. We have a few more unis coming up, not a whole lot because we've started to run into money problems, but I think what we're going to do is we are going to come in on general staff, mainly because skirmish will be really good, but also so we can actually recruit up some guys. I struggle busing a little bit here, but Brazil has abandoned their front. They have abandoned their child, and so we will be taking advantage of that and just landing in right here, which should be easy enough because there's no resistance, and we'll be able to get in. Brazil's going to be the harder one to enforce on, so we're going to enforce on them first. We will need to re-land up here, otherwise we will get enforced on for war reparations. The fact that they have everything is a little bit concerning, but we get in immediately. Looks like we might not be able to rapid advance through them because, oh, this 6 stack, is this 6 stack? 6 stack. I'm not sure if the 6 stack is enough to stop us, to be honest. So maybe we will put in on this guy advancing, this guy pillaging, new pillage meta. Actually, we'll put adamant defense. We'll see if we can get a couple battles in and get ahead of this 6 stack. If he can't get to the front in time, we will just keep pushing. And look, when the front advances, this is why the cavalry is so key, because we get in here for free, right? Meeting no resistance. And when the front advances, and then this guy needs to try and re-get to the front, then this means that we will just get to advance for free repeatedly. And so this is why stacking multiple modifiers, like the rapid advance modifier, like the, battle occupation modifier, and like, using, it's actually very key that we go on to forced march, because we need to be, that's kind of a bit of a miss for us not to be on it, but when we're on forced march in particular, this means that we can zip from spot to spot faster, and so now we need to reorganize and move around, right? And the fact that we have it will make it so that we can do that faster and hopefully enforce on Brazil here. Now, we have a stack that just got free. These guys, and these guys are coming on over. Where is the stack? We had a stack up here. This is the one we're concerned about. It's this 8 stack. So we'll just re-land these boys on here, and this one is very important that we are able to get that, because if we can't get that, here they're going to get a free push on us. And seeing as, actually, we're going to cancel this naval invasion. We're going to have these guys land up here. They still have their rapid advance, so they'll be able to get it through really quick if this happens. And then we'll put this defensive guy up over here. And now we can hold, and they can't push anywhere near as fast as we were able to push on them. And so even though we're going to lose ground, we are going to gain ground up here when the naval landing comes in and just push through here. And so this is kind of the strategy for how we're doing it. Also, we need to have none of our land be occupied. So this is really key that we pick this up so that they stop enforcing on us. Unfortunately, I don't think we're in any condition to help out Mexico this time because, again, we're having just massive problems actually recruiting up our troops. In fact, we're kind of waiting on doing this landing in Ecuador until we get skirmish infantry, which just feels hella weird. We're just going to wait 8 months. We do have 0 infamy, but we won't have to repay the infamy on this particular war, and so we're just going to stick with it. I mean, we could get an obligation from Mexico here, but we actually want them to back down. We don't want them to be like, oh, we're receiving help, because we would rather they give up Utah and California rather than everything if they get enforced on. So we're going to just hope that they end up, kind of throwing in the towel. And this will make it easier for us to subjugate them later anyways, even though California is kind of like the big prize. But we have deleted down several of our, kind of units in here. So like these like tiny stacks that aren't recruiting up, we're just deleting them. And so we're hoping that this kind of plays out better for us overall at the end. And we are adding conscripts and conscripting them up. That way we will be able to land with, just enough on this fleet as when our conscripts and stuff come up. So hopefully we'll be able to get in on Ecuador, but we will see. Alright, so big miss on my part. I hadn't realized that for a little time I had run down the military wages, which gives a minus 50% training rate, and this explains why we're having so many difficulties. Mexico did get cut down a little bit, which is unfortunate, but it's going to make it easier for us to sway them to let us be a subject, and it looks like the USA is still going to want to fight them at least one more time for Colorado and Arizona, so we might be able to get have them return California and sway them to be a subject if we get lucky. I think that this is going to be the battle that gets in. Yeah, this is going to be the one that gets in. We, of course, did tick a whole lot more than we wanted to. We're not going to put down or what is it? We're not going to put down these armies yet, even though we have a bunch of like conscripts and this type of thing, because there does seem to be a little bit of a bug where if you lower the conscripts on one army, it lowers them on multiple armies, and we can't have that happen in this army because this army is basically 100% conscripts, and so as a result, we're just going to have to wait until we land, but this landing should go through. We'll subjugate them, and then we'll start trying to handle this. To be fair, maybe we were a little too gung-ho with the universities. We're really looking to push it, but we want the construction to go through, and we have even, you know, switched to doing max taxes. We might have to put in more consumption taxes and this type of stuff. The consumption taxes actually make money now, and so maybe let's take a look at decrees. To be fair, this greener grass campaigns, this hasn't really been panning out just yet, so I think we're going to do this. I think we're going to get rid of these edicts, which we use to temporarily give ourselves the ability to get on up. I think we're going to get rid of this road maintenance edict, and we'll switch to a rather normal looking, we're just going to tax every type of thing in order to afford more construction type of play, which is kind of the standard. And we're just going to put in on all the luxury stuff specifically, although is liquor? No. So if liquor was making us way more, we would go for liquor. In fact, we actually will go for liquor here. We'll add liquor as well. And so this will put us in much better money shape, and so this is going to be good for us. We of course will probably pause, or not of course, but like I think we're going to pause construction at some point. We do have a queue. We have 900k saved up, and so if we pause, we can let the auto queue pick up where we've kind of left off, and then this, in addition to us finally putting these armies down, should put us in good enough shape, I think, to be able to maintain at the level of construction we have. We just won't be controlling the queue, and so yeah, there we go. There we have it. Maybe we could even turn on the queue, but we do kind of want to. We like the little bit of control this offers, but we want to clear out some of our debt. So this is a pretty comfortable equilibrium, I think. All right, a little bit of a buggy situation here. We put in a war to annex Transvaal colony, and then they revved. And so what we did is we put our fronts on defend versus them, and then we dealt with the rev first. That way they would annex the rev. That way when we annexed them, we would get the full rev. As you can tell, here's our, you know, war we have here. Unfortunately, the creation of the rev bricked all the fronts. So there's no fronts to be had. So we are going to be swapping sides and capitulating because, I mean, we're right here. We should have a front. We should even have a front here because it lets us get, or, well, sometimes it lets you get access through here. And in fact, maybe we're just supposed to save and reload. We'll try saving and reloading, but if not, we will have to say goodbye to the sweet nothings of our GDP line go up because we will be swapping sides and making them capitulate. Otherwise they enforce on us, but this is, I mean, I suppose we could raise their autonomy, but very obviously we should have annexed them, so this is what we're going to be doing. Had a few native uprisings in some spots, but this is coming along quite nicely, and once we annex them, you know, we hopefully will be discovering some gold. They hadn't discovered any gold, but this will also be a pretty big chunk of stuff to incorporate into our economy, so that'll be nice. Okay, we saved, reloaded. We let the game think for a little while and eventually decided there were in fact fronts, and so we are going to be enforcing kind of all natural, the normal way, by just pushing in on them. It's a little bit slower than we'd otherwise like. You know, we would like to be picking up some infamy, but this way we get to keep our very nice line go up graph, which is of course everyone's favorite graph. This line hasn't gone up too much, and yeah, we'll be enforcing here. Haven't gotten a mass migration yet. It'll be curious if mass migrations are gated by discrimination. We are getting occasional, you know, regular migration. Unfortunately, we haven't spawned Han in any of our areas, but the Han are exodusing somewhere. We assume towards the British market in some spot, which is going to be good for them. Not really sure where exactly the Han Pops might be emigrating to, but this is probably only good for them. We see Korean in the home counties, and so they've probably on the net, and there's the Han. In fact, they're probably on the net, maybe benefiting more from this than we are, although their population's not exploding, so maybe we just keep on keeping on and being in their market, mainly for, you know, good diplo, and the fact that we would not be a great power, I don't think, if we were to leave their bosom, as it were. Although, I guess I guess we would be a great power. Maybe this is something to be considering here. So we decided to go for Kamchatka up here. Of course, we're getting a taste of our own medicine, getting pushed out of a front, and then teleported away. So I guess we'll have to re-land, because we just got stationed at the North China HQ. That truth, it does indeed hurt. We were actually going to be doing a naval landing over here to deal with this, but I guess this is the soup we're swimming in now. Unless we can get these guys to just capitulate, we'll just say, hey, well, no, we can't, because we no longer control the war goal. And they're like, you can't defeat us, except we can. You know, we're kind of coming to a pretty good spot here, where we are getting, you know, we're setting up to maybe leave the Customs Union next episode. But we're approaching a 200 construction and an EOS capped university, kind of a 21 university at the very least. We're going to sort by some of this, but we care a little bit more about getting rid of unemployed. There are going to be some unemployed boyos here. This is going to be kind of expensive. We kind of can afford it. We kind of can't. But we do kind of want to push 200 specifically. And then in here, we do have another 10 levels of, or 11 levels of university. Maybe this is a little bit beyond our means. We're hoping that we can, you know, build into this at the very least. We'll say, give us some of that. And if they're on this front, I think we actually will get in super easy here at the very least. And then maybe now they'll be willing, yeah, okay, they're willing to give it up. We don't really care about opening their market, so we'll propose the peace deal. Looks like Great Britain has done our work for us and landed over here, so that'll be nice for us. And we sided with them here in exchange for an obligation, which is very important because now they can't join plays against us, which is going to be very powerful for us. And so we can just capitulate our way out of this one because it's basically over. And then we just have to wait for this Congolese one to tick down just in time for our infamy decay to run out. Alright, so we have ourselves a huge war coming up. We're going to put enlistment efforts down on both Beijing and Shaanxi to make it so that we can recruit up faster. With the conscripts there, we're raising 100 total conscripts, 50 from each, which will all be going into this mega doom stack, which we've parked right here because we are going for Persia, but Russia sided against us, and so did the Ottomans, but we are receiving the help of the UK, so this is going to be a pretty big one. In particular, Ottomans are really, really easy to abuse with a variety of landings, and so we're going to try and make sure that we can get those going in. Hopefully we can get someone other than a royalist. Yikes. Okay, well, he's unlikely to become leader, but we have a 25 navy and 2 one-stack navies, and we're hoping we can use a lot of zipping around, outmaneuvering to try and win this war. This war seems pretty rough, though. We have a bunch of guys set to just defend initially. We're really hoping the UK contributes a significant number of troops. If they don't, it's going to be pretty tough for us to win this, but I mean, it is what it is. We were kind of getting tired of, we needed some target that was pretty big, a lot of infamy. You know, the stuff like New Granada didn't look that good. Peru Bolivia was like 30 infamy, and so we figured we would just might as well go for Persia. And so this is what we'll be doing, and hopefully this works out all right. This is a pretty pushed war, though, so this might not be doable, but if we fail, we'll get refunded at least 75% of the infamy. Alright, so we're opening with a kind of straightforward landing here in Fars, hoping that this gets in. They don't have anyone defending. We will set down the strategic objective as the capital here, and so this is a good start. What we will be doing is we will be moving this guy over so that he can help defend the front. We are going to recruit up another guy so that they can defend from multiple fronts, and since this guy is going to be kind of helping out in this way, we're going to set a smattering of conscripts up, and we're going to raise some of those conscripts so that he can defend just a little bit better. They should be rearranging some of their fronts. If they don't rearrange an absolutely mega stack onto this, we will just be able to get in on the capital here. It looks like we have encountered our first initial resistance. Oh yes, Sikh Empire also siding against us, kind of rough. And so we'll just set all of our guys to defend. And so now this is a little bit of a new beachhead for us. We are just going to be waiting for this battle to kind of figure its way out. And then we will be landing with this squad somewhere else, possibly Basara or here, to brick this front from them, which will be useful for us, and so this is what we're going to use these guys for. This is unfortunate. We didn't... Actually, we could still do a landing, so I think we just... So we can land Hale. Let's land Basara. And maybe we'll get some funky front splits here and actually just be able to push through here. We'll see exactly how that plays out. We could abandon this front and instead push up on this front, but I think we won't. Once this guy gets here, we should be in a much better shape. They will push us pretty quick here. And we will set these guys, now that they're off the front, we could set them back to rapid advance. It's important to set them to defend, otherwise they're going to push a whole bunch, and then you won't be able to use them in the landing. But since they're already... Oop, what's this? Okay, so they decided to leave the front. This guy is already at the front, and so we'll set advanced front on him. And so this will be good. We'll recruit another guy on advanced front, and we'll let them try and push. As soon as we encounter any sort of resistance or assigning to the front, which we did, we will switch to all defend with these guys. They are 100% infantry, and so they should be better at defending, but we might be able to get through and push a couple of these. We'll see how this goes. Nejd is really getting pushed, and now we will kind of use the sneaky guy. The sneaky guy is this one stack. Where are you? Nope, that's not the one stack we had prepared. This is the one stack we are looking for. We thought we had moved you over here, so we're going to move them over here along with some of these. We might end up splitting them. It's just 4 units, an infantry or 2 infantry and 2 cavalry is what's being recruited up with these guys. And we're going to just keep zipping around here until we can find something that's soft to land. AI, much better at defending, spots here. Like, for example, this guy's the Dnipro HQ, this guy's at the Baltic Sea HQ. There's this guy's just at the Russia HQ, just chilling, getting ready. This guy's, at the Ottoman HQ. And the problem with all this is they can't actually commit as much to the front, and so this leaves us in a bit of a good spot in that regard. Normally, releasing Kamchatka is not really good to do versus Russia early on, because a classic strategy is just pushing through the back door here on them, which they hate it when you do that. And you can usually get a lot of war score by doing this. We've kind of eliminated that option for ourselves because now we can no longer land through there. Also, you normally take Alaska, but it's bugged, so we will not be doing that. But this is kind of the opening salvo here to this war. Alright, so the landing gets in successfully. It looks like we crushed the front, and we give ourselves a new opportunity to try and push towards the capital and engage in a bit of shenanigans. I think what we might do is we might actually pull this guy off of this front. Well, so he's defending against this 55 stack. As this 55 stack comes out, oh, and they do, now these guys are stranded. These guys are it's gonna take them forever to get back to the front. We will actually be able to push super fast because we have this forced march kind of going on, in addition to being a cavalry unit and having the rapid advance. Now, to be fair, we will start advancing slower once these conscripts come up, but they're not up yet, and so we will be able to get assigned to this front faster before they do, and then we will be able to push out before they can get there, and then they will be having to chase us. It's probably just going to end up merging with this Persia front relatively soon, and then here's our resistance. We've encountered the resistance, and so now we just swap on to defend front and get ready to do another landing somewhere else. It looks like, for example, we might be even able to push here. Actually, the UK is pushing here, just straight through this. And then as far as this front goes, we are still at a disadvantageous spot. There is a huge Russia stack here, and we are just, going to be keeping on defending, at least until these guys finish raising the conscripts, which they're getting close to, at which point we can kind of maybe use them for a push. So we sent in a landing here in Kerman just to free up the front, reset it, and then we are actually going to start pushing with these guys, we think. I think that this is probably sufficient. We've also ground down some of their troops, and this just causes a big chaotic shuffle when you land and you merge a front. And so in this instance, often they will send guys away from the front, like you see here, especially because we are putting in some naval landings, which often will make them want to reassign. We have this naval invasion here, which is scheduled to come in over here in this strategic region. And I just want to emphasize, Ottomans is the most you know, is the easiest guys to take advantage of because they have 5 strategic interests and they can't cover them all with troops. You can see here we're actually landing in the Caucasus here, and then we're probably going to try and push into Russia to enforce Russian war reps. But if they defend the Caucasus, then we can land in Arabia. If they defend Arabia, we can land in Anatolia, the most likely one for them to defend. If they are defending this, Balkans. If they're defending all this, Danubia. And so it's just a matter of kind of chasing them around and playing like a little game of whack-a-mole. If we encounter any sort of resistance or like the fleets start chasing us, we just move around, and we can see here, is this the fleet? It is the fleet. And so what we will do is we will just cancel the naval invasion. Our fleet can run away, no problem, and then we will just put in a new naval invasion. Ooh, they lost their Arabia stuff. But we could just put in a new naval invasion in Anatolia instead. I think they are actually covering Anatolia with this 50 stack, so they're getting, the AI is much better about defending this, but this 50 stack is not involved in any sort of fight. So let's see if we can maybe land over here in Thessaly. And then we do have our other kind of landing squad coming in over here, and we can see we're not getting in instantly. Are they going to chase us? They're not going to chase us. And then where is the Navy? Now see, the Navy is chasing us. It do be like that sometimes. They are getting a little bit better. We will just cancel the naval invasion. And I think we will just let them start kind of come on home a little bit and see what happens as this other navy of ours gets closer that we're going to be using for landing, and seeing if we can get anything done there. On the front over here, we are pushing in and making great progress towards the war goal that really matters, which is, of course, Persia. We also are connected over here, so we can continue and push the Ottomans, and from them we have war reparations and release Iraq. We only have war... This is such bad timing, man. They're willing to transfer states, transfer Colorado. You know what's funny? Is this will break the war goal if return Colorado is one of the war goals. But there's nothing we can really do with Colorado. And so maybe we just let them... So the thing is we can't yo-yo sway here because we're involved in a war, and they won't become subject. Which is unfortunate because we don't have enough military power for them to want to do this. So it's yeah, we really wish we could have gotten this timing a little bit better. Oop, we have a general die, so we're gonna promote someone or recruit someone. Kind of don't want to recruit someone because it decreases the org. I'm not sure if promoting someone decreases org. I don't think it does, but maybe it does. No, it doesn't. So we can maintain the status quo there. Man, okay, so this is... this is unfortunate. Usually before the last war, you can kind of try and get them to your side. I mean, we could take Colorado. It just, there's not much point in doing, well, it has gold. It has gold, doesn't it? Even if it's isolated from the entire state, the fact that it has gold, we could just literally build gold there and just let it be isolated, and it's actually, like, not terrible, except for it makes the UK or US hyper belligerent towards us. But if the U.S. is attacking us for return Colorado, we could probably sway Mexico in for return state. Maybe? I mean, or like worst case scenario, we could just return Colorado to the USA at some point. I mean, there's no hope of ever defending it against the USA if the USA decks us, actually, now that I think about it. Unless unless Mexico comes in. I guess we could see how this develops as well. See if anyone else sways, but... Maybe we leave Mexico to their fate this run, unfortunately. So we managed to land up here with this squad, which has reset kind of some of the defensive formations here. So we're going to try and land the Crimea. And the main idea here is we're just trying to enforce war reps on Russia. They do have a fleet somewhere around here that's a lot bigger than ours, so we do have to watch out for that. And we've decided to sway for Colorado, but we're probably going to turn that over to USA at some point, but we figured that there's gold there. USA is unlikely to put in war goals on us, and then oh, they have they received the return of Colorado war goal. That's kind of unfortunate. I guess we could just capitulate our way out, and it's not too big a deal. So not too big a deal at all. We might capitulate. I mean, if there's a world where we can maybe pivot and fight this war as well, I think we'll do that. So I think we'll leave it in for now. This is, of course, the really spooky thing. This is the scary thing. Not a whole lot we can do here other than delete construction. We can pause construction as well. I think that actually will do that. So we have 750k worth of buffer to drain, and we maybe don't need that university given what's going on currently. And to be fair, Sick Empire's out, big nice. Once we actually get to enforcing on them, this is going to work pretty well, because then we'll have Russia. I think we'll try and get this strategic objective. I was a little curious that we can't put the strategic objective up here, which would be nice. We're getting pushed out here, but we're getting pushed out slowly. Are we encountering resistance on the landing? We might be. Yeah, it looks like we might be encountering resistance on the landing here. We're not getting it instantly, unless this guy has a general... Oh, they're not... Okay, we need to wait for the org here to come up to 100 to get the landing, so we can see if there is anyone in Dobruja. If there's not, we just land instantly. If there is, we will encounter a little bit of... Ooh, we encounter some resistance here. We can fight through this, but here's the thing. Now they're defending the Dnipro HQ, so we are just going to leave. If we leave, this guy will likely reset, move somewhere else, and if he doesn't, then he's just in the Dnipro HQ for no reason. So we'll cancel the naval invasion, and this will also preserve the numbers on our fleets. And we see that, hey, they split up, they start moving around, and he leaves the Dnipro HQ, as does the Navy. So this is kind of the name of the game when it comes to just being as obnoxious as possible. I think we're going to assign to this... Oh, no, wait, we have to assign someone to that other front. I think this 13 stack we can assign over here. I think we conscript up, maybe? Okay, if we want to try and win this USA war, maybe we need to try and send a little something positive. We're going to send our Thoughts and Prayers stack, which is just 1 infantry, but it's going to get a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more substantive later. Thoughts and Prayers your way. Big, thank you, big nice. We, of course, will get enforced relatively quickly out of this war because they have a war goal on us and they have seized the war goal of Return Colorado, so it's very unlikely that we get this through, but we'll see. Ooh, looks like... What is this? Oh, Transfer Persia. Oh, this is horrible. I didn't realize. We can't enforce. God damn, dude. This is like one of the most obnoxious things. So here's the thing. Who has them? They're a protectorate of Russia. So this is the really frustrating thing, is like... Now we have to land Russia, actually. This is the only way to do this. To be fair, the UK is trying to land Russia, but they're never going to land into that 90 stack. That's so obnoxious. So... I mean, there's a world where Russia pieces out. But the thing is they'll probably be... there's a world where Russia pieces out, but this has suddenly got way, way longer. And this is suddenly gotten way more complicated. I think we're too late to, like, try and do something else. God, that's so obnoxious. It's so... I mean, it's not clear that... Well, it's not clear at the time that this is switched to a transfer Persia instead of Protectorate Persia, and it really changes the nature of things because you can't enforce without enforcing on Russia first, and this is an incredibly obnoxious thing. To be fair, we only have to get the war reparations on them. We don't have to land cap, but this is like... man. Okay. Alright, so we have enough to enforce here for the Russian war reps after taking a province, which was a little bit scary, but it looks like they've had enough, and so we are going to transfer Persia, and this is going to feel nice, and then we're going to get war reps, which is also going to feel nice. So they are now our subject, protectorate, big nice, all the nices, and now we will be moving guys over. Now, this is probably going to be a situation of too little too late, but we will see what we can do here. This is never going to work for this landing here, but we're just getting stuff in place, and we will be moving our kind of cheeky stacks over here as well, although the US is a lot harder to do anything gimmicky on, and we will send this stack back. Okay, they're already defending against the naval invasion. These guys are defending against the naval invasion. The Shadow Army is busy. I think they put down this... Oh, they were supposed to put down that. We do have this army, which can do something. We'll set one of them to advance. I don't know why these guys got teleported to Indonesia, but it really works out for us. And these guys are already traveling to the front. And so that should be pretty good. I don't think this war with the U.S. is winnable here, but we'll see exactly how things can shake out. I think we get it forced on because our war goal is kind of picked up here. But we're in good shape money-wise, so this is going to work out for us. Hopefully. We don't have, like, war reps on them. Ooh, steam donkeys. Yikes. We had meant to not research it all the way, but this is fine enough. Us going ahead of time once is not the biggest deal. We will go for joint stock companies, which will allow us to put in the Kaiping Mining Company when we finish with this thing. Because steam donkeys is a requirement. Steam donkey's not going to be very good for us. I suppose we could use it over here, but we have a ton of peasants, so we're not going to put it in just yet. There's maybe a few provinces we could put it in on, but we'll hold off for now and just try and see if we can maybe make this war work. Probably not, but we'll see with the USA war. Alright, maybe there's hope in this US war, mainly because they put in this Oaxa treaty port, and they haven't managed to push to Oaxa. And we managed to land the capital, which kind of sent their forces scattering. And then with their forces scattered, we are able to now start pushing in over here. I think we're going to put in another one over here. Do we have pillage meta time? We're going to pillage our way through Mexico. We don't really care if we cause the damages. This is not a big deal to us. We are defending over here. We're hoping that we can try and get in with our other 4 stack. We landed down in Florida, now we're just landing up here. We're just trying to occupy, look at this, we're 51, 52 units by kind of using a minimal investment here. And these guys are all on defense. They're on the capital, so they're going to help tick down faster. We have troops coming in, but they're probably not going to... See, here's the thing, is we're going to get it forced on pretty soon here, and so maybe we save Mexico from, like, kind of a nasty fate here, but, or maybe we save them from a full enforcement. This kind of remains to be seen, but we cannot sustain this. We're going to switch this guy to defense, and then once this battle's over, we'll just re-land back down in Florida, just looking to tie up as many troops as possible here. Alright, so it's looking like there is a way, and, you know, our Navy guy got beaten. This was a little bit unfortunate, but he came back swinging, and now it's looking like we have a sort of war deal that is okay. We are probably going to get enforced on very, very soon here. I wish there was a better way to check it, and perhaps there is, and we just don't recognize it. We have war... Okay, here it is. We have war support of 85, so we're going to get capitulated out really quick anyways, or pretty soon anyways, and so we have this war goal that is proposed. The USA is not going to get ticked down where they can just return American Texas for nothing very easily, and so we're just going to accept this because we probably can't hold down Colorado anyways, and so we will accept this peace deal, and also it de-gores the borders, and we will probably have another situation. This creates a scenario where USA will deck on Mexico again, which gives us another opportunity to sway in again, and so we will do that. We will also be enforcing on all these guys, but most importantly, we'll let these guys rest. This is a 10 stack naturally with nearly 100 you know, raised conscripts. We'll let those guys go to sleep, which of course will give us a nice positive balance. We'll resume the active construction, and we should be in a good enough spot here. And then once we enforce here, we will be everyone will stand down. We can manually stand a lot of these like crazy armies down, but I think that this is fine for us to do it like this, and I think with all that, it would just capitulate out of this one, because it doesn't matter, because we did it for an obligation. And with that, I think we will call this an episode. It's been a bit of a wild episode, kind of a lot happened, you know, what all did happen? Man, this has been... What did happen this episode? I'm so confused. Crying, screaming, throwing up. Other than this really big war where we went for Persia, there was like quite a bit of substance to the episode, and now it's just completely escaping my mind. So we'll say that the biggest portion of this was going for, going for Persia. This is going to be really substantive for us. I guess we got kind of got gummed up in some other wars here. We got gummed up in this Peru-Bolivia war because we made this mistake of not realizing we had lowered military wages for whatever reason, and then we couldn't recruit up, but we managed to kind of stick it out the war. I was trying to show a lot of military stuff off this episode. I don't do that too often, but this war with Persia looked both particularly difficult, but simultaneously super winnable because the Ottomans are really easy to enforce on. And then it seems like the AI is really now quite good at defending against naval landings, but poor at balancing that with front pushing. And so they just had too many guys off the front as a result, and it's kind of it's difficult to try and balance the AI around that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and have a good day.